Hello, one. Hello, all. And welcome to Weekend Live or Will Weekend Live. I come to you as always as CP, otherwise known as Charles. Today is September 2nd. It's already September. Enough. No sound. Is that accurate? I sound fine for me. What do you mean no sound? Can we hear me? Man, this brings back memories. Is there seriously no sound? Cheers, Deadhead, in case. Yeah, okay. All right, check your sound. Subjective perspective collective. You might want to check your sound because it appears to be you. Cheers, Deadhead. So lots of content on this channel in the last 48 hours, 72 hours. The August edition of 31 on 31 is up. It's a doozy. lot of sci-fi. I would call them sci-fi / action movies. And I thought my list was the bane of this year's existence, but man, Brian just does not want to give up that title. Holy smokes. And this morning, well, it's not entirely new. If you're subscribed to Emily's Adventures in Horrorland, if you are a patron of Emily, you've seen that review, the Falling Down review. You've seen that in a shorter, less loud and obnoxious version that I called it a remixed Emily adventure, which you know, I re-edited her video, and it's up. So if you want to see a 3-year-old Falling Down review, that was exclusive for patrons. That I guess the the embargo was lifted on that, and it is now WILIscredia property for your consumption. I think I lost in that trade because she went to the UK. I had to come back home, and I get her content, which is what's today's topic? What's up, Doug? Quite a bit. We're going to talk about news and something that I found quite interesting. Aaron, we were doing so well. How dare thee, sir? There's a couple of things that have gone on in the film universe and the film community in the last, let's call it 7 to 10 days, while I was busy shooting with a webcam and then editing 31 on 31 that I wanted to talk about, but had no time to talk about. So I was like, oh, just wait. The first thing is Blonde. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Ana de Armas from Knives Out is playing Marilyn Monroe in a Netflix doc. No, it's not a documentary. Excuse me. It's a shit. What do they call those? When it's a biopic. Um, and she had some interesting things to say because it received an NC-17 rating, which I think is weird that the MPAA is rating things that aren't being released to theaters, because usually, or at least back when I was working in movie theaters, the big deal was you had to get yourself, you had to get the R, get I mean, the Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th franchise is notorious for making excessive trims because the MPAA said, "Yeah, this is too gory. There's too much of A, B, or C in this. Right now, the way you gave it to us, it's an NC-17." And a lot of that franchise got neutered just so they can get an R. Um, but Netflix, I don't know what their big piss and stink about is. Uh, I guess because they will be releasing it to their own little private houses, and they'll be doing so for 2 weeks. I mean, it's not like what 15-year-old really has an appreciation for Marilyn Monroe's life story, like genuinely. Uh, it's a little. I don't know. It's just that it's like the controversy behind it. It doesn't make sense for a number of reasons. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Ana de Armas, here's a cheap reason to show you who this is. It's probably the fastest rising actress right now. I would predict that she'll be the next $25 million actress uh, per film by 2024. I would say uh, she's been in a lot of things that have done well, and she's quite a decent actress with some spectacular range. And what Hollywood execs care about, she's stunning. She's physically attractive. Like that's I hate to break this to people, but that is what sells tickets. People want to go watch pretty people. It sucks. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. Uh, do you want to look at a Ferrari or a beat up Yugo? The beat up Yugo can really perform, but you don't care. Doesn't look that good. I want to look at the Ferrari. So put the Ferrari in this movie. I'll give the Ferrari $25 million, even though that beat up Yugo can act its ass off. And apparently, I'm casting the next Pixar Cars movie. Right. So they interviewed, they interviewed Ana de Armas a while back, and she was kind of pissed, shocked, whatever. I'll read you the quote. I didn't understand why that happened. I can tell you a number of shows or movies that are way more explicit with a lot more sexual content than Blonde. But to tell this story is important to show all these moments in Marilyn's life that made her end up the way she did. It needed to be explained. Everyone in the cast knew what we had to go to in uncomfortable places. I wasn't the only one, which, you know, is a very diplomatic way of saying, yeah, there might be nude scenes. She might have an affair with the president. She might overdo it with drugs. Um, but uh, like I would really be disappointed if this movie has like hardcore sexual scenes in it because the MPAA only listed the sexual scenes as the reasoning behind the NC-17 rating. NC-17 for sexual content, which um you could trim that, especially considering the current running time of this movie is 2:43. Man, Netflix when they get their Oscar bait, they shoot for that 180-minute mark, man. Let me tell you. The problem with this is the director, let's just say, doesn't give the diplomatic response. The director of Killing Them Softly, Andrew Dominic, it's a demanding movie. If the audience doesn't like it, that's the fucking audience's problem. It's not running for public office. It's an NC-17 movie about Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of what you want, right? I want to go see an NC-17 version of the Marilyn Monroe story. That to me sounds creepy. Again, I'm just reading text. I don't know what the tone in which he delivered that interview in, but when somebody says, I want to see the NC-17 version of the Marilyn Monroe story, it's just like, do you care about the actress or do you just want to fuck? Like, you're losing me here. Uh, you can how many people have had biopics where you didn't have to go all the way? And I realize art is about crossing certain boundaries and pushing the limits, but to outright, just outright say, I want to see an NC-17 version of Marilyn Monroe or Blonde, excuse me, is odd to me, especially when it's coming from the guy who wrote and directed the movie. So we're definitely going to see what he wants. And what he said in an interview, that interview was given months before Ana de Armas's uh, surprise at the NC-17 rating. And he evidently expected it. I mean, if anything, it seemed like he cheered it on. Uh, it's I thought we were getting past this part of Hollywood. I really thought that the creepiness era was at least trying to be avoided. I mean, you're making a biopic about Marilyn Monroe. You expect, she's one of the more popular Playboy covers. I mean, it's not like nobody doesn't expect nudity. Obviously, if you're going to tell the story start to finish, you're going to expect drugs. But the Amy Winehouse documentary, which was brilliant, titled simply Amy, was life of a superstar in its darkest glory, and that didn't get an NC-17. I can only think of other Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't count because that was a musical disguised as a biopic, which was produced by Queen. So the living the remaining surviving members of Queen made a story about the person who is dead, and boy did they make it soft, in my opinion. uh no pun intended. Yeah, it's a great soundtrack. It's a really good feel good movie, but Freddie Mercury had to deal with a lot of bullshit. And man, every time they fought, those members of Queen, they knew how to write a song to break up a really heated discussion. It's I'm happy. I don't know about you guys. I'm happy to know that uh, when Freddie Mercury showed up late for rehearsal, that in the midst of their anger and frustration, the bassist just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna write the bass line for Another One Bites the Dust," and and presto, it's like instant fight be gone. I really wanted T Bohemian Rhapsody to be better, and a lot of people liked it. So I am in the minority. That's fine. Something like The Rose, something like what was it with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga that just came out, that like the 5 times over remade movie, A Star Is Born. That wasn't NC-17. You can tell brutal stories of stardom without getting an NC-17. Like you can test the boundaries of things and not be so edgelord about it. Uh, just news in general, Cody. Anna de Armas is shocked that the blonde film got an NC-17 rating, which is going to Netflix, and like that's where I lose common sense, because it's not, they're not trying to. Well, I guess maybe I just answered my own question, because they're not trying to squeeze it into an R so that it can get its theatrical run. They're just going to leave it. The MPAA says, "Well, this is the way it is an NC-17," and Netflix is like, "It's your opinion, uh, whatever." Uh, from what I heard, it's showing the darkness and tragedy of her life, and it's fucking rough. Well, yeah, I mean, I would expect that. Like I said before, I said, she has probably the most popular Playboy cover, so you're getting nudity like that. That was kind of a gimme. Um, I would assume they're going to cover JFK, and at least the rumors of that in the movie, and of course drugs. Uh, she didn't die from natural causes, so you would assume that it would have a very bleak ending. But the NC-17 rating is for sexual content, where I like, I don't. Marilyn Monroe is like, she's an icon for so many different reasons, and it's not because she made the prequel to Showgirls. Like, that's where I get confused. Um, Mark says, "How graphic does it have to be to tell this story? Is it a gimmick for attention?" Um, when you listen to the quote from the director, again, I'll read it again. It seems a little Quentin Tarantino 5 films too early, if you ask me. Somebody who thinks, they're Kubrick reincarnated, or Weinstein reincarnated. I can't figure out. Maybe a hybrid. Um, Andrew Dominic says it's a demanding movie. If the audience doesn't like it, that's the fucking audience's problem. It's not running for public office. It's an NC-17 movie about Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of what you want, right? I want to go see the NC-17 version of the Marilyn Monroe story. And that, to me, that's just text. He certainly could have had a particular tone about him. And again, certain directors, when they talk about ratings, again, art is there to test boundaries. But reading it on flat paper like that, it looks to me like the guy just wants to watch Marilyn Monroe fuck. Like that's the vibe I get from that quote. Which she, if you think about Marilyn Monroe, I don't think shit, were sex scenes even in movies back then? Are they going to be graphic about whatever? JFK is never named in the script or the book. He's referred to as the president. He's depicted as a scumbag and a sexual president. Well, we kind of predator. Well, I kind of knew the second part. I really hope he's not scummy. Well, you know what? There are so many things that have been said about the president and Marilyn Monroe. First, you've heard of this? Who's playing Marilyn Monroe? It's Ana de Armas, and if you see my thumbnail, you could see her in full Marilyn garb. She, Marilyn Monroe. You want to talk about Me Too and how ignorant Hollywood is. They were way worse back then, and it was, I don't care if you can act. How do you look? And she checks those boxes. But again, I said it earlier in the stream, she has quite the range. At Knives Out, I thought she was quite good. That movie with Ben Affleck earlier this year, that was straight to another streaming service. I felt like she carried that movie, which was kind of I know little to nothing about Marilyn Monroe. I plead the fifth. Exactly. I like, most people don't like, this is, she died, what, 60 years ago? So how graphic do you need to be? I don't know. I'm talking about the NC-17 rating from the business end, from the Friday the 13th fan who's been absolutely scorched by the MPAA. I mean, how much footage of some great VFX have been just abandoned because the MPAA was like, yeah, that's too much. If it's as graphic as the script, then I guess I could see why it's getting an NC-17. Well, the director wrote it, so I mean, in that interview, he basically was expecting it and or wanting the NC-17. Ultimately, I've seen movies that are R-rated that are more graphic than what's in the script, and I've seen NC-17 movies that are less graphic than what's in the script. Yeah, the MPAA is weird, like really weird about shit. like very weird about shit. And the fact that they only list sex. Oh, you know what? Does she? You used the sexual president, and you it, autofill misfilled a different word. I'm wondering if they get a little irreversible about something like that. Irreversible deserves an NC-17. It deserves an NC nobody ever is what irreversible deserves. Marilyn is the sex symbol. Yeah, sure. Sure. Maybe we get to see a fully erect presidential penis. I would assume the NC-17 comes from the context of the sex scene, sleazy producer, drugs involved. Yeah, it just hit me more than just nudity. No, right, like I said, I expected nudity. They're talking about sexual. It got the NC-17 for sexual nature. Hollywood doesn't have as much nudity in newer films, I've noticed. Yeah, because actresses are speaking up. And you don't need it. And again, Hollywood wants to make money. And back in the day, well, a stranger time in the 80s, the MPAA didn't care if a woman was topless. And Hollywood execs did, because that I mean, shit, Weird Science. I mean, there's a lot of movies that you go back and watch and you're like, man, these are classics. And then you watch them with your adult mind, and you're like, yeah, this is not cool behavior. Like, none of this is cool. like this is things. These are things that I was kind of fired up about as a little kid and or teenager, but you're finding cheap reasons to put a pair of tits on the screen. I think I like Armis just fine. I don't think she's as overrated as someone like ScarJo or J-Law. I think she's the next one. I think she's going to command a heavy dare I say double-digit millions contract for. All right. Yep. I see what you typed there. There is abuse present in the script. Okay. There's this on the second page. It's a really brutal script, but a good read. More interesting to me than the vast majority of biopics. I'll say it both ways. I don't care. I agree. If you're gonna like, I keep waiting for a Lane Staley biopic. If you want to scare the fuck out of people into not doing heroin, tell the Lane Staley story. Lane Staley, of course, lead singer of Alice in Chains. Very, very. He's the poor man's Kurt Cobain, even though Kurt Cobain is the poor man's Lane Staley. Kurt Cobain did not have any range as far as singing is concerned. Lane did. Drugs ruined Lane, and he wrote about it. Like you read these songs that he wrote, and he's just somebody tortured by something that has an absolute hold of him. And then he died of an overdose and wasn't found for 2 weeks. That, I think, is, terrible. I remember I was in school when Kurt Cobain died, and all the people making such a big fuss, like like the president had died, and it was just like nobody wants to talk about Lane, huh? All right, interesting. What's going on here? Why did it just reset? Uh, Anna gets naked a lot. Well, I mean, that's she's no stranger to nudity. I mean, name a movie where she hasn't been. Well, I guess Bond, and Knives Out. Those are the two movies I can think of where I didn't see far too much of Anna de Armas, which isn't a bad thing. Bad, bad CP, bad. I don't know why the chat reset. All right, Trevor, dude, I'd like to see the NC-17 version of the Lane Staley biopic. J-Dev, what's up? See? Exactly. So, I mean, his mother owns the estate. So you would think, and there is a Lane Staley Foundation. Somebody approach her with a spec script that is, we're going to be dark. We're going to tell the truth. I mean, the guy told the truth. I mean, he was basically telling people in the lyrics, guys, I'm fucked. I'm fucked and I can't get out of here. And people are like, oh, those are really dark lyrics. Yeah, yeah, no, he's confessing. He's basically telling you, guy wrote love letters to heroin for fuck's sake. Sometimes, yes, that is quite an accurate statement. Dimebag would be interesting. That another person who fucking Jesus. Hollywood needs to constantly be reminded of how normalized they allowed abuse to become and the shitty environment they created for women and children in particular. Blonde does that. All right. All right. No more spoiling, Jake. I'll see it. I'll see it when it comes. No pun intended. Um, I'm afraid Cobain died just a few months before I was born. Maybe you're his reincarnated soul. That'd be freaky deek. Yes, that is accurate. There are many a movie where actor and actress said for the art will I don't have a problem with it. Do you have a problem with it? There's nymphomaniac where it like sometimes it's a gimmick, sometimes the actor and actress are like husband and wife and or going out, so it's not really that big a deal to them, and the director's like, oh great, it'll really pump up the authenticity, and that is where the MPAA gets involved. It's so weird. Like, I would hate to be a member of the MPAA because they decide how many thrusts are too many for an R rating. Like, I need to know the blueprints behind what is too graphic of a sex scene and and where the line is when you're showing somebody bang. I mean, it they're not showing any private parts, but it's the nature in which they're thrusting that will get them, uh, an NC-17, and it's just like to be there and take notes like, "Up, there it is. There's the line. That 3rd thrust, way too deep. Mm-mm." As far as sex and nudity goes, it should have context. X and Possessor are very sexually charged, and I dig that about them because there's a reason for it to be there. Well, yeah. X is a movie about, a porn crew making a trying to sneak a porn movie in a farm, and, they get theirs. Let's see, mentally unstable, loves music, very chill, yet also fuck off attitude. Yeah. Yeah, and once he got famous, he was like, "Nah, I'm kinda done with this." Chris Cornell would be a very tragic story because when he did the Temple of the Dog reunion tour the year before he committed suicide, it was just really kinda odd. Dude, depression sucks. I'm here as an advocate. You know, when you don't feel well in your head, there's no way to explain it. And Lane explained one thing very well, and nobody listened. Oh, complete agreement from yours truly. It's probably not close. I might squeeze another band or 6 in between those 2. Actually, speaking of biopics, how about that Weird Al biopic? Yeah, um, Daniel Radcliffe sure knows how to pick some roles, huh? Um, unsimulated sex almost never happens in American films, but it's fairly normal in a lot of foreign stuff. Dogtooth has an unsimulated sex scene, as do several of Gaspar Noé films. Baise Moi is filled with them. Uh, Caligula. Yeah, it needs to be filmed in Europe, it seems. The good old sexually repressed United States of America. The MPAA works under YouTube rules. I don't know what the hell their rules are. You got an NC-17 strike. Oh, well, you fought it? Alright, well, it's a rated R now. Never mind. This subject reminded me of Censor. Did you like that movie? I love that movie. I really enjoyed that movie. About a censor who was, busy censoring really fucked up horror movies, in the UK during the video nasties era of the '80s, sifting through VHSs. Oh, imagine having to rewind and wait the whole runtime for it to whatever, and not just skip a track or whatever. Bleh. How will I see Halloween Ends? Your uncle or oh, no, I'll go through the cock. I'm it's funny. I guess I'll rotate what I was going to talk about because you brought up the H word. Um, yes, I have seen that, Jake. It is a very, very, very interesting movie. Uh, Censor is excellent. I turned the director onto CP's. What? You did what? Oh, no pressure. Shit. What did I say about that movie? Fuck. Why did you do that? They always get so mad at me. Oh, no. Well, I liked it, so I can't imagine I nitpicked too much. Shit. Shit. Alright, so hold on. Yeah, I've pissed off one too many directors. I'm done. Halloween Ends, I will be taking in via the cock. It will be available on Peacock day one. I don't have a problem watching that at home. People who have gone berserk talking about Halloween Ends having potential to make $1 billion. And then referencing, I think Cody brought this up to me, that they were using Top Gun Maverick as a basis for comparison. Well, look how much money Top Gun made. If Halloween Ends just goes exclusively to theaters, we could really knock it out of the park. You are drunk. No Halloween movie has made half $1 billion. Where are you coming from with that line of thinking? And as we speak, David Gordon Green has not secured his ending yet. They're still messing around with the Halloween Ends ending, and you got 6 weeks, pal. It's the Rise of Skywalker all over again. What happened to, we have 3 movies in mind. It's going to be this all the way to this, and we know exactly what we're doing. What the fuck? I mean, sure, you had to delay things for COVID, but why would that fuck your predetermined idea? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, fair point, Jake. But you know, if one person says it, not all Halloween fans are mentally lost, but there's a healthy chunk that if you tell them that it's the greatest movie ever, that they'll gather. The echo chamber for the Hollywood, the echo chamber for the Halloween loonies community is horrifying, dare I say. But yeah, people don't understand that Peacock is owned by Universal. I'll be saying this again on Monday, I think. It's the same thing they did with Halloween Kills. You were still able to watch it at the theater. Universal does not want to share any of their profits with movie theaters anymore. That has been a thing for years. I have been talking about it on this channel for years. Universal and Warner especially, although I don't know what the fuck, since Warner got bought out, like what their main concern is, if HBO Max is even whatever under threat. Ever since Disney went fucking absolute ham and bought everything up and basically told theaters, yeah, well, if we don't have 4 screens for Frozen 6, we're not going to give you Frozen 6. And Quentin Tarantino infamously complained because he wanted to put Hateful Eight out, and he had a fight with Star Wars. Uh, and you know, I get it. I get it. You're a major studio, and you're fighting this monopoly. Um, but Halloween Ends on Peacock is better for Universal. It's better for Blumhouse because there's no middleman. I get it. You want to see it on a big screen. That's that's I understand. I agree. The best way to watch movies is on the biggest screen possible with the best sound possible. Yes, I agree. But them releasing to Peacock is not an insult to Halloween fans. That is them just being greedy. That is something that they have telegraphed for basically a decade at this point. Universal does not they got a really sweet deal from theaters, and they still said, "Yeah, we're still going to make our own fucking thing cuz eat shit." It used to be I think it used to be 6 months you'd have to wait before you before a theatrical release date before you could do something home media related. And then people fought and got 90 days. And Universal was like, "Listen, we're getting slaughtered. We're not making any money. At least give us a chance to do it our own way." And they managed to get that 17-day deal, which I think I, I don't remember. I don't know if it's just them or it's them and Warner, where so anything that Universal distributes, if it comes out today, you could probably stream it on September 19th, and that is the fastest of any major studio. That's, of course, if you're sharing. Amazon just said Amazon's pulling the Disney thing only in reverse. They're like, fuck it, we'll just buy the studio and put it on Prime. but but no, if Peacock is not, they're not going against fans. Um, I don't like it when movie fans act like they know what they're talking about when it comes to the business end of things. Um, and they say weird shit that makes no fucking sense. Like it's going to make $1 billion. Um, what premise are you basing that on? And they released it to Peacock because they know it's going to be shit, and they're trying to piss off the fans. No, they're greedy. They're a studio in Hollywood, and they want every penny they can get. That's why they're releasing it to Peacock. You could have, and the thing is, it's going to be in theaters as well. So what is the problem? That's that. I thought Kills was okay, but some people hated it with a passion. Halloween may have lost some steam. Oh, it did. It did. I loved Kills because it was like a Friday the 13th movie. So I was I really enjoyed it with the original ending. And by original ending, I mean not the one on the director's cut Blu-ray. I can't even wink. But yeah, Kills made about half as much as 2018. People look at how much 2018 made in the box office, and they don't understand Halloween 2018 had that. It had that Force Awakens effect. Like, people hadn't had a major slasher franchise in a very long time, and this is including Scream. It had been at least close to a decade, and they pumped it up like, yeah, we're people had a bad taste in their mouth when it came to Michael Myers. That Rob Zombie experiment, it has its fans, but for the most part, people were like, hashtag not my Michael. And people who were around in 78 flocked to see 2018. It was a big deal. That idea wore off because reasons. Um, and Kills is not a typical Halloween movie, so they've lost some there too. And the fact that David Gordon Green still doesn't have his ending locked freaks me out. And I don't have a horse in the race. Like, how are you going to land this plane, buddy? Yeah, what? You just kill. Are you not going to kill Jamie Lee Curtis? Are you not going to kill Michael Myers? Like, those are either or. Like, those are the two endings I'm thinking of. You kill Jamie Lee and have you leave the door open for fucking Michael to keep going, and the granddaughter takes over. I don't understand why at this stage they're still trying to figure out what the fuck they want to do. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially considering they had 18 months with Kills just done. They had 18 months with Halloween Kills on the shelf, and they put out what they put out, and what they had was better, and they tweaked, and it wasn't as good, and fans said as much as that. Yeah, no, it's I agree with your second half of that statement, Jake. There are for now. You know what? I said this before. I'll say it again. I hope in October, at the end of October, I'm talking about how much I enjoyed Pearl, and like that is the dominance of what I want to talk about, and not other things. I'm happy. I'm happy that Halloween did so well because it opened the door. The Friday the 13th lawsuit got figured out. I don't know what the fuckers at New Line are waiting for. Again, Warner Brothers, just a fucking garage sale, that studio apparently. The people are ready for. If you think the first Halloween was a carnival with how many people showed up and watched it, and it came opening weekend, do Nightmare on Elm Street the right way. Like, just don't be ultra serious about it. Don't don't do 2010. Get an actress that would like to make the movie, first of all. Um, and just, count the fucking dollars with your toes. What the I don't know. I don't know. It's going to make 10,000 million, bro. Nope, I'm there with you. I'm there with you, and I've seen a different version, and I like my first impression. And then when I watched 18 after first saw Kills, I was like, "Oh, this if they can just if they can do 18 to Kills 2 ends, this is gonna be the tightest fucking 3, film trilogy, like, perhaps in horror." And, uh, mid stride, they were like, "Nah, we're 4 years later." It's 4 years later now because the entire town is sold that Evil Dies Tonight, and then they take a 4-year break. Evil Dies Tonight, we'll wait for the next election. That's when evil will die. I haven't seen enough of I've seen a picture of Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al, so um, yeah, I I I have no room to speak. People were bitching, still bitching, they should have kept a 2 brother sister story. Fuck it, it is what it is. Yeah. It's nostalgia goggles, the angle from Halloween 2 is dumb as fuck. I hope Pearl is great, but I'm setting my expectations low because I'm not digging the trailer, and it was shot right after X. We'll see. It was shot during X. X, for the record, is my favorite movie of 2022. Hey, Mike, how are you? How can Halloween end without some kind of Busta Rhymes cameo? Yes. Which brings me to the other thing that is making the big news. Interesting timing, all of this, because the Venice Film Festival is currently going on, and that is where Kills premiered last year. How old is Kills? 2 years old? Well, I know I know Kills was done in 2020. I know that much. No, yeah, Kills premiered last October, um, at Venice, at the Venice Film Festival, and now they have a movie. Well, it Halloween Ends didn't premiere at Venice because, well, they haven't finished their ending yet, or they haven't decided on their ending yet, which is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that makes me feel comfortable, so comfortable, like a warm blanket when a movie's 6 weeks away from release and they're like, I don't know, what do you think? This? No, 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 this. No, 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 this." Um, but there's the Timothy Chalamet movie that had just premiered, and they showed a picture of the line for people waiting to get in. Uh, I think it's All the Bones. Is that the title of the movie? It is a romantic cannibal story. It is a movie about a couple that are cannibals, and that is all I have about it. And did that get an NC-17 rating? I fucking I it sounds intriguing, but I have nothing else on, uh, where is, uh, film? Sorry. Bones and all. Pardon me, pardon me. Uh, Raucous cheers ahead of this screening. Bones and All co-star Taylor Russell, a breakout star from Waves, also got her share of applause before the screening began, as did Chloe Sevigny and Mark Rylance, both of whom play supporting roles. It was an open question, however, how the festival would respond to the movie itself. This is Chalamet working with the Call Me by Your Name director, for the record. Based on Camille DeAngelis's young adult novel. Oh, please! I thought we were done with the young adult stuff. Yeah, Bones and All is a coming of age romantic horror about alienated teens. Man, Timothy Chalamet is closer to 30 than he is 20, and he's playing a teenager, huh? Cool. Uh, who find connection through their shared love of human flesh. How the movie plays in Venice could go a long way to determining the push MGM gives it for its global rollout later this year. If Friday night's reaction was any indication, they shouldn't be worried. The Venice crowd came to their feet the moment the credits rolled and stayed up, giving round after round of whoops and cheers for nearly 10 minutes. 8 minutes in, the crowd began cheering "Guarda, guarda, guarda" in celebration of the Italian director. Oh, well, the hometown crowd. MGM might still have a challenge marketing Bones and All, but in Venice, at least, it killed. Ah, punny. Very punny. Um, I didn't know it was a young adult novel. When I was in LA back in 2014, I saw a play called Taste. That was a cannibal romance story. It was done by Stuart Gordon, director of Reanimator. Very intense. Hot take of mine: Freddy versus Jason is better than Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. I might think it's close. I would have to really sit on it, but j make sure just don't say it when Brian's around, because I don't have, 95 minutes to vote to that debate. CPU, you still not interested in Terrifier 2? The trailer came out a while ago. The first one did nothing for me. I mean, gore is gore. VFX are VFX. I will see it. I feel like at some point I will have to see it just because of my YouTube presence, but it will be work. I will consider it work. But yes, I'm not exactly interested, but I will watch it. How many people are interested in everything they do at their job? And again, this does pull money in for me. So Chalamet was stopped being cast as a teenager when he starts looking like a grown man. Oh my! Oh no! 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 That is a hot take. I will give you that, because Black Phone is number 2 for me, only behind X. Yeah, and that's the argument. I think it makes it easy to, well, again, I wish anybody the best of luck who would try to make that argument with Brian Lomax, but yeah, Freddy vs. Jason knows exactly what it is. It's just silliness, just absolute. When Jason flips the table, when he finally is in the real world, and the face, to see Freddy scared, it was like, what the fuck? This is kooky. Yeah, yeah, I would. I would. Yeah, I don't blame anybody for having Black Phone number one. I really don't. I'll debate Brian on it and I'll win. Uh, Sell tickets. That's all I'll tell you. As somebody who's gotten into it for a couple of rounds with Brian, sell tickets to that one. I plan on watching the Black Phone again, but I fell asleep the first time. It happens to the best of us, man. I fell asleep on the fuck. What was it? The first the 2 episode intro to Lost. I fell asleep on that, and or pilot. I guess it was a double pilot. I don't remember what they called it, but it was 2 hours. The pilot episode of Lost. I fell asleep on it twice, and then I just went fucking berserk and watched that movie a whole fuck ton now. Black Phone was predictable happy ending stuff. Would you want the kid to die? Spoiler. Shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot. Black Phone is not rewatchable to me, and I hate that they're doing a prequel every few years or so. Yeah, no. Black Phone is a brilliant movie that doesn't, you're right, it doesn't really truly have rewatchability factor, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. No, there's more than that, Scott. No, 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 no. With the sister, the fact that they bonded so much, and she plays a heavy part in it. It's a lot more than that. I mean, you're diluting the fuck out of that movie. Which, yes, I would agree. If you gave me 4 words to describe the arc of Black Phone, bullied kid toughens up. There's a bit more than that. Helped by ghosts. But it's a non-franchise film that people like, so that's good. I'm glad people enjoy it. Yeah, well, the first half of your sentence might go straight to fuck. The Grabber should have been the next. Oh. Listen, I know Tom Savini designed this, the mask, but enough. Last Night in Soho, I thought was Malignant. Was fucking kooky as fuck. Last Night in Soho, I think Edgar Wright is a brilliant filmmaker. I just think Last Night in Soho is it's not the best he's done, is all I'll say. But I do enjoy it. Was Nightmare? I haven't seen Nightmare Alley. No, 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 no more. The fact that we don't know anything about him is perfect. Perfect. Well, in that case, then I want a Silence of the Lambs Buffalo Bill prequel. People forget that you fear what you don't know. I can get to that, Doug. I'll get some frustration out. I haven't seen Resurrection, but I agree with the first half of what you said. Is E near R? Yeah, you've been trimming. Yeah, it could have been a little bit tighter. So we've been going a bit. I'll ask you a question that I'm going to build on and kind of see if we can make this a thing, a poll elsewhere. And the question is, if you were to make a movie that needed to make money, yet you had a limited budget, what would be the most important element to you? Would it be your crew, your cinematographer, your director, a specific actor or actors, having a cheap cast of character actors? What would be most important to you as somebody who would need you need to make a profit, but you also have to pinch pennies? What is your most important element? I hate the delay. Shall I say that? Writing and acting. You can only choose one. Genre, horror especially, usually gets good returns for the budget. So it does not matter. The thing that's most important to you is that you make a horror movie. So you buy up a cheap horror script and you let the rest roll the dice with. That could backfire. There are cheap horror movies that do not make money. I believe I would have to be the writer to give me a great story. I can get the rest together. So you would take command, save money on yourself. I'll take that. I mean, because you could pay yourself scale, make yourself the writer, and let everything else be cheap. If you give them a firm enough structure, I guess. I mean, if you have Tommy Wiseau acting out what you write, then you have problems. Writing, story. It's a loaded question because it would depend on what kind of movie I'd be making, not including the writing. I'm writing it myself. Again, another person. I'm choosing great character actors. That would be my choice. I would go the Lost route, or even Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad has actually ended up making some stars. But yeah, if you can get actors that know what they're doing, it doesn't really matter if the script sucks. You know, they'll handle it. You know, give me a professional, somebody who's weathered, shall I say, director. Listen, I just need to make money. I don't need to win awards. Remember that. For anybody thinking direct, and nobody has said director, which is interesting. Nobody said cinematographer, which is interesting. This is a question that I probably will re-ask on Show Business at some point. Story. Look at all the terrible writing that makes bank nowadays. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, $6 million for that. 6 million. Whoa. I'm kind of proud of you guys. Story is probably, it seems like story. Oh no, it definitely matters if the script sucks. It's my responsibility to make sure it doesn't suck. Well, you can, if you have actors that are professional enough, they could improvise. There's certainly ways where they're like, you know, if they're doing the right homework, my character wouldn't say something like this. And if you're the EP, if you're the executive producer, and you know the characters, you know, comes up to you and says that, what is this shit? I've looked over the dailies. I've done homework. My character wouldn't do this. I'd be like, you're right. I mean, how many times do you hear about fucking 5 different writers getting thrown aside for a movie that they seriously need to make money for? Well, yeah, story is important to everybody. I mean, it's pretty clear. But can you make money on a cheap story is my business question, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't disagree. I want it clear that I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying. Good acting usually saves movies. Excuse me, good writing usually saves movies. Uh, but does Joe Sixpack recognize that this movie full of nobodies is brilliantly written, and they're gonna tell their friends about whatever? Director or cinematography will make a better movie, but that's not what I would rely on to sell a flick. Right. I would hire you to write a Mrs. Voorhees script and go from there. Your check's in the mail, Doug. I would too. I've seen plenty of great actors who are given shit scripts. It doesn't work. We'd have to agree to disagree on that. I mean, it's a hypothetical. And you're right. The pendulum could swing either way. It's just interesting. Cinematographer is certainly important, but if I drop the ball as a writer and cast sucks, it's just a pretty mess. Right. And again, you're not we're not talking about art at this point. We're talking about business. We're talking about, I have $1, bring me back 3. That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about, I have this script and this new up and comer out of NYU, bring me 5 nominations. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, here's $1. You better bring me this back and then some. If the Tories If the story is told well, it can distract the viewer. As a kid, Stand By Me was one of my favorites of all because of the story. That's a telling of age, a coming of age story. I'm only concerned about art. I hate this hypothetical. Wah! Dude, don't move to Hollywood. Just whatever you do. They think everybody in Hollywood thinks all they care about is art, and then they find out all their bosses care about is making a dime. That is the problem. That's where, like, I'm telling you, it's an idea I've had for a very long time. You see these repetitions in Hollywood, especially in casting. The blonde starlet, the prototypical action hero. Like, it just there are certain things that people don't give audiences credit for, and audiences play right into it. Um, and they hire people that study some very, very, very weird things. And I think if we could do what I tell you what I would do, I wouldn't have a fucking test screening. That's what I would do. Oof. We are talking making money. Most don't care about nuanced performances or lush visuals. That's why I immediately thought genre is the way to go. Yeah, that may be right. If a splatter flick, if it's a splatter flick, more gore shit sells. Yeah. I have no interest in Hollywood. Just what they produce. Um, what was the budget for Stand By Me? I know it was adapted from a Stephen King thing, so like that's name recognition off the bat. And Rob Reiner directed it, who is a pretty fucking good director. Um, that was not made for pennies. I'll start with that. Uh, I know Corey Feldman had already done what, Gremlins, Friday 4, and he did a cameo for Friday 5 because he was doing Goonies. Wait, is Stand By Me before Goonies? Fuck, I'm all fucked up. All right, so Stand By Me is not before Goonies. If that year is right, 86. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Sky, I'm tired of comedians, especially edgy comedians, really doing shit that is supposed to be jokes. Like, thanks, guys. You're making it real hard for people that just are edgy and know that they're telling jokes. Um, you're making it seem like anybody who talks about something over the line is doing it or some version of it, and it's fucking annoying. It, it, I don't know the ages. I just saw teenage, and I was just like, why comedians? That's a very good point, Doug. Blair Witch made a gazillion dollars on ooh, marketing. The story wasn't that the story wasn't there. They were improving a lot of that. Marketing might be the key there. people found one of the videos in question through the Wayback Machine? There's videos? Yeah, I have to agree. I read a statement, and then I was like, "Fuck, I don't wanna I really don't wanna be depressed." It's a good topic, definitely glass half full, empty type thing. Yeah, this is, I kinda used you guys as a guinea pig. This will be something that we're going to do on the next, show business where, what is important? What is important to art and what is important to business? Because Hollywood lost a fuckload of money this month releasing a whole bunch of nothing. 43% less money made this August than pre-COVID. They don't know what the COVID just exposed everything that sucks about movie theaters and a big budget everything like COVID just said you don't need to go to the movie theater just as much as it exposed. Yeah, you work in an office, you have a computer at home, don't you? Yeah, like COVID, as much as it sucked a gaggle of cock, COVID exposed so many things where it was like, why are you doing it this way? This is so much easier. And people are like, hey, yeah, wait a minute. I know, Jake. I'm with you. I'm roasting us. I hate Hollywood, but I talk about it constantly. I can't get off its dick. It's my ex-girlfriend. Wait, my ex-girlfriend didn't have a dick. What happened? Oh yeah. Um, oh, why do these people film this shit? That's the thing that I fucking do. Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm just gonna lean in the middle, but if there's if there's fucking proof, first of all, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Hey, let's commit a crime and film it. Uh, Secondly, if it's true, fuck, just fuck, just, just possibly Monday, Doug, possibly Monday. It may not be the full crew, but uh, there's a lot to talk about. It would be a summer wrap up, autumn preview. I'd like to redo the script that I did that was very very relevant to the Me Too movement. It was a comedy about a girl who um, was attractive, and she knew she was attractive. She and a group of her college friends, who are all film students, all had different paths, and she things weren't working for her. She couldn't pay the bills, so she ended up working at a version a restaurant is what their mockingly known as a Hooters type restaurant, and she has this moral struggle throughout the movie, um, about I'm a waitress, but I'm not only a waitress. I'm also basically showing my body off, and that's how I'm getting paid. Um, there were very very broad elements to it, and uh, uh, if I was able to tighten it up, it was ahead of its time, because I know once Me Too happened, I was like, fuck. Why didn't I finish that movie? Why couldn't I have a cast, you jackasses? There were days I quit. I quit on a film that I wrote and was directing, because there were days where there was a cast of two, and you can't make a movie like that. You just can't. When there's more, when there's, excuse me, the crew was two. I don't know if I said cast or crew. I had more cast members than crew members, and there was a certain point where if you weren't in the scene, you were script supervisor. Like, it was just fucking, actors aren't educated on the how to hold a boom, and lighting and things like that. I was so on my own, and I just said, fuck it, I can't do this. I can't. I'm too worried about everything that I can't focus on anything. And like, I was just like shooting scenes just to shoot, like, all right, just fucking put it in the can, so this scene is shot. And it sucked. It sucked because it was the person that told me they were going to give me money for it, to get a crew, said, you gotta exploit the fact that there's sexuality in it. I was like, yeah, but that's the point of this, is we're ironically talking about places like Hooters, and this person was a dude bro who actually ended up never returning emails. Once I said, hi, I need a boom operator, uh a cinematographer would be fucking incredible. I don't even care. Yeah, fucking, I'll do stationary two shots if you want me to, which what I was doing by myself anyway. I'm not trying to make fucking Dune here. I just need ample crew. Give me 6 people that are able to get on board with what we're doing, and understand that we're making a satirical look at just how fucking hypocritical Hollywood is. And or um the sex industry, shall I say? Yeah, it was worldwide. I didn't hear that. He can't release it as Friday the 13th in the US. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just going to release. I'll look into it. No. No, can't post that. I can post that. You can't decide what to watch later, so you need your help. You purchased a black phone and X. Which one? You can't go wrong. X is my favorite movie of 2022. The Black Phone is my second favorite. You can't go wrong. Thank you. Appreciate it. I love how people don't understand the concept that October we're doing the big three. And I told Cody in private, this might be our official like statement to the public. Well, it's still 31 on 31 if you count Halloween 3 as a movie that does not feature Michael Myers, and if you count Friday the 13th 5 as a movie that does not feature Jason Voorhees. So there, 33 minus those two, you still have 31 on 31. Now shut up about the 33. The David Lynch Dune. I don't care. Either or, man. Yeah, right here. And watch X twice. There's a lot of little. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Dune was brilliant. Didn't they just release a trailer for the second half? Not a big fighting movie guy. Dude, like that's when people like they're like, oh, I bet CP is gonna have blanket number one. I'm like, guys, I've been telegraphing what my number one is for 2 fucking rankings now. It's not changing. It's not fucking changing. I think Alien is fucking brilliant. I don't need to watch it again. It's not like I'm gonna watch fucking Prey and then watch Alien and be like, oh, you know what? RoboCop's better than Alien. Yes. 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 Yes, quite a bit actually. Um, I obviously I don't know where Ends will fit. 2018 fell out of my top 10. Halloween 4 jumps into at least the top 20. Um, what else? There's a couple. Halloween 2018, I think I had like 9 in my first one. That falls a bit. Um, Halloween 4, I managed to watch without having to watch Halloween 5 directly after it and being disappointed that they screwed the pooch on that storyline. So, 4 Halloween 4 takes a big jump. Um, Kills is high. People are not gonna like me for Kills is in my top half. Halloween Kills, that is. Friday the 13th remake. Cody is like the devil on my shoulder, and the more I take that in, the more I don't know. It's leapfrogging quite if you watch 2018s and then watch 2022s, you'll think that I'm somebody else. But the unless Halloween Ends is the greatest thing since sliced bread, the top 5 isn't changing. It I I will dress up as a fucking pony if Halloween Ends is at the top of my list. If it skips over Jason Lives, I will become a furry for the remainder of 2022. CP, I need you to help me see why Inception is so great. I'm not saying it isn't great, but it's another I fell asleep during multiple times. I want to love it, but can't get there. Um, yeah, that's a hard movie to to convince somebody to like. I mean, dude, if you tried convincing me to enjoy The Matrix, I'd be like, I appreciate your effort, but I don't give a fuck. Some movies people get, some movies people don't. I like that it's a giant action movie that also is quite heady and is very misunderstood, and people think they know what they like is going on, and it's so funny. Like it's right there. I'm telling you, visual storytelling, you'd be surprised how important visual storytelling is. And Christopher Nolan gives you this clue right right there. And the ending is not ambiguous. I mean, it's played as such, but I know I know whether or not DiCaprio's character is awake. Fucking Nolan lets you know when he's awake. You know. If you're paying attention, you know. Just remember the fact that he says that the fucking spinny top thing, that was his wife's token. And nobody lets anybody else touch their token. And he never says what his token is. Remember that. And then keep in mind the man is married. I'm married too. Look, I'm awake. Sorry to ruin the ending for those of you who think that the wedding ring isn't his token. Troy, thank you for the $5 super chat. No real question here, but help make some money, people. Oh, no. I appreciate it. I really wish you could fucking do refunds on that. Instead, instead of doing that, I make more money on a $2 channel subscription. I what you I don't know if I'm allowed to give secrets. What your super chat was, if somebody signs up to join the channel for $1.99, I get that. I get that number that is in the super chat. I appreciate the super chat, but if you'd like to support the channel for the next 3 weeks, join the channel. That's huge because believe it or not, for some reason YouTube is doing something really, really interesting. And they're giving bonuses. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I fucking I'm gonna lose it. I didn't read my fucking contract properly. But if you'd like to support the channel, joining the channel by clicking the join button down below, as low as $1.99, goes a very long way for me. One could say that $2 of a channel join would be like a $5 CP check. If that makes at all sense. A $2 channel join goes twice as far as you think it does. 2.5 times as far as you think it does. Fuck. Let me just bail. I'm bailing on this because I'm going to get myself fucking booted. And I'm not going to get any money. No money. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Good vibes. That's what makes Inception or Matrix great popcorn movie that has depth if you're willing to dig a little. Right. And those are my favorite. And I still can't I can't get into the Matrix for some fucked reason. I just see it like an ending explained and I'm like, you're fucking wrong. And you have 900,000 views. How the fuck did you do that? You're wrong. Did you watch the movie? I mean, congrats on making $2,000 on this video, but you're fucking, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Ooh, I think that's a movie I'd like to see on the big screen again. What was the hardest 31 on 31 ranking to do? The one with critters. I think. I think. Usually when we do 31 on 31, it like the first 2/3 is okay. There was one 31 on 31 list where like fucking more than half of it was dog shit. Oh, look at this. Thank you, Sky. Much appreciated. And now Sky has that. See, it's very similar to a super chat too. You get the same highlighted mentality treatment. No, not mentality, treatment. Nice to know the secrets. We'll do that instead if it helps more. Oh, it's yeah, by more than double. But I appreciate it. I don't want to seem ungrateful. Sky, thank you. Your money goes 2.5 times further than you think it does. Thank you. IMAX. Fuck. I don't even remember if they filmed it in IMAX. Was it in IMAX? I haven't seen Road Warrior. I've seen the first Mad Max and the last Mad Max. If your credit card declines it on October 3rd, I'm not sweating it. I just have to bust my ass through September 26th. Because that specialty about it wears off at that point. Man, how many videos are there of me speaking in code where I'm like the Donald Trump of fucking movie secrets. Oh, it's all over the floor. What's the easiest 31 on 31 to do? Marvel and DC. Mm. Oh no, you know what? It might have been no. I take it back. I take it back. It wasn't the hardest one. Was um the the one that had fucking Exorcist in it. I'm not really into those types of movies, and that was the bottom fucking 15 of those were just a chore, a chore for me. There's times where the group comes together and says, "All right, this is a 31," and I'm like, I don't want to exist. And Brian has already declared that he's not watching the Terrifier movies if we rank it, and it's like, hey, tough shit, buddy. I sat through those fucking Critters movies. You're gonna sit through some gore. The easiest one was probably right now. Like I said, I just have to figure out where I squeeze ends. But having already done the Freddie Michael Jason one and sitting on it for a couple of years and rewatching things here and there, I this one's easy. The ranking part's the easy part, and I really want to go above and beyond and make up for the lack of jokes, the lack of visual presence. I want October's video to be my video in October to be the best looking. Whether or not you agree with my ranks, that's one thing, but I want to have the best produced video for this year's 31 on 31, 33 on 31. Yeah, I know. My Nana and I are doing the 2-account Spotify to save me money anyway. Oh, you pay for Spotify. Shit. Do I need to be on a computer to become a member? I don't know. Um, is it possible? Um, can I watch myself from my own fucking thing? It should be like where the subscribe button is, I think. I'm checking. Checking. No, I don't need to. It should be there where like the thumbs up and all that stuff is. It there should be like a square that says join, much like the subscribe button. But if not, no biggie, Felix. The amount that you've done for this channel is absurd. Oh, Sky did it from their phone. I would say this last 31 and 31 was pretty easy until you got to the top 10 or so. No, it's exact opposite. I knew my 10. It was getting there. I knew my 10 and I certainly knew my 31. Whoa. Yeah, Terrifier's just hatched. Wait, what? Terrified vs. Hatchet 2, more concerned with pushing new slasher icon and throwing gore at the screen to be anything long lasting. Yeah, the pizza parlor scene, I was just like, yeah, nope, this isn't. Yeah, all right. And you know, a lot of people in the horror community just want somebody to cosplay as, and that's great. If that's what you're looking to for your movies, then cool. I was probably at a stage like that where I was just like, man, that mask looks badass. I'm gonna watch 5 of these movies because that guy looks awesome. I'm not really ingesting anything, but man, that fashion, baby, fashion. The beauty pageant of 31 on 31. I always love watching all the 31 movies for 31 on 31, even though there are some, yeah, you could watch the ones that I don't want to watch for me if you'd like. Woof. If I had $1 for every time I uttered that exact sentence, damn, I'm dumb. I can't figure it out. By the way, great editing and production on your last 31 video. No, it wasn't, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not proud of that video whatsoever. Oh, link to join channel is in description. Yeah, an effects showcase, right? Why are people all saying hello with the U now? I knew nobody that said hello with a U before I met Emily. Now everybody says hello with a U. Join button dies tonight. Oh, there it is. Good job, Dice. Thank you. Your check's in the mail. Which, by the way, Dice, myself, Celise of Sweet and Spooky, and Desmond's fuck, what is the official title? I'm sorry, I want to get it right. Desmond's Flicks. I knew there was an alteration. So yours truly, Dice Rollin, Sweet and Spooky, and Desmond's Flicks will be doing a live stream in the somewhat near future that is of purpose. We're gonna be talking about things in the horror community, and let's just say the quartering would hate it. Is the only clue I will give you. Yeah, I cosplayed as Victor Pascal one Halloween, and people were like, "Oh, what are you? What? Why do you have blood all over your head?" I'm like, "I'm the guy who got hit by the truck in the friendly ghost in Pet Cemetery." And they're like, "Yeah, up there it is." Thank you, Felix. Evidently, you can figure it out. Get those fingers working. Yeah, I don't, and I'm not the biggest Kane Hodder fan, so I agree. I agree. If the movie's in on the joke, it's easier for me to swallow. Yeah. Like the Winnie the Pooh slasher. Shit looks ridiculous. What? What is a dream 31 on 31 for me? I don't you can't. That's a let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, let me sleep on it. I don't know. It would probably be like the WILIscredia 31, like my 31 best movies ever. It would it and that defeats the purpose of the 31. 31 and 31 is about either franchises or themes. Um, so I essentially my dream would just be ranking my favorite movies and producing the fuck out of it. Collapse. Yep. Troy, stop giving me super chats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But you're putting it in the wrong area. I appreciate it. I promise I'll answer your question. Just don't put it there. Um, I know it's way off topic, but as a comedian, who is your favorite stand-up or top 3 if you wanna discuss further? George Carlin. George Carlin is God. That is all I will say about that. The fact that the what I what's weird is George Carlin died in the mid-aughts, for those of you who don't know who George Carlin is. Um, I've come across videos where people have fabricated George Carlin interviews, and they've said things like George Carlin talking about the 2016 election, and then and it's like no, no, George Carlin talking about uh, MAGA or like uh, George Carlin is if George Carlin. I'm not listen. I'm not trying to bring politics into anything. George Carlin hated Republicans. Just just to be clear, if George Carlin would be anything, he'd be Antifa. He got arrested for his right, his First Amendment right. He was the second guy who got arrested, right behind Lenny Bruce. People who are adopting George Carlin and his humor and calling it the right wing style of humor have lost it. They'd he would call all of you fascists, just for the record. I'm not saying I don't I refuse to, call myself one thing or another, but, when you get too far to one side or another, I think you've lost your mind, and, if you're red hat wearing, uh hashtag Biden Hitler. You've fucking lost your shit. Um, Bill Burr, his latest special is fantastic. Uh, three. Number three. Number three. Number three. Carlin Burr. I thought Sam Kinison. No, I wouldn't put Sam Kinison in my top 3. That's not fair. Brian Regan, before his divorce was the most brilliant, most clean comedian I've ever seen, and I spent my birthday with in 2002, 3. Yeah, yeah. We're having Brie Larson as a special guest. Oh, that's badass. Harry Potter. I will do that. Ted White is Jason. Yes. Oh, wait, I have heard of this. I think Emily brought it up to me, and I thought she was kidding. Whoops. They Live. They Live. Another movie, for those of you who, maybe missed it, Emily did a review of Falling Down, a movie that I think is, speaking of fascism, is quite relevant still. They Live, another movie from fucking 35 years ago that is very relevant still. Very good. Very good. A dream, pun intended. My dream would be to have everyone watch Inception 31 times. Victor Pascal. Yeah. Head trauma, Harry. Oh, yeah. Or people will mistake it for whoever the guy from The Mummy 2017 was. Oh, why did The Mummy 2017 do a really bad American Werewolf in London cover band? That was really fucking strange. Yeah, I think it was 2007. I saw him before. I saw him like 2 weeks before he checked himself into rehab in 2005, and I was like, my favorite comedian, and he's at his lowest. Cool. Yes. Yes. Yes, that is completely accurate. He's and he's what I model myself after. I may say things that sound off, but I don't words don't hurt me. I think everybody should be treated fairly, but we should all laugh at each other fairly. George Carlin has said some of the things that, um, that they have adopted as like I the problem is you listen to Mr. Orange and Mr. Orange Jr. talk in front of a crowd, especially Matt Gaetz. Speaking of I like teenagers. Um, they think that being edgy and saying shit that is inappropriate is humor. And it's like they're misrepresenting what George Carlin like. It's like they're doing a really, 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 really bad cover band of George Carlin. Like you got to learn the music first, guys. You can't you can't just fucking sing the lyrics, or what you interpret the lyrics to be. You've totally lost it. That's not, no. No. Um, 'Cause somebody referenced George Carlin, and this is something I modeled myself after quite a bit and learned the very hard way that if they don't know who the fuck you are, you can't hit them in the face right away with a heavy joke. And George Carlin used to open is, "Why is it that, fuck, I'm gonna fuck the joke up. I I'm a comedian, I'm not a good secondhand comedian. I'm not a good comedian by proxy. Why is it that people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't wanna fuck in the first place?" I I think that's, and he would open with that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. he had a half an hour bit on Ronald Reagan and how many criminals Reagan had in his thing. If you think about it, people assuming George Carlin was pro-Republican kind of proves a number of his points. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, but we're getting a little crazy here. Um, I consider myself very, very, very purple. This is kind of lilac, if anything, but um, the hard red is mm, you guys are losing touch. You don't like. There's no self-awareness with the things they're saying, and they believe a thief, a liar. I'm sorry, George Carlin. Uh, Mr. Orange lost his home state by like 30 points. He owns a shit ton of property in New York. You would think we love him here. Nope. Yep. 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 Well, yeah, no, yes. I encourage you to watch George Carlin bits on YouTube and euphemisms. He has a bit on euphemisms and how we can't and this is like that I may have just stolen this from him and adopted it as like my way of life, but he has this bit about euphemisms and how we change words to make ourselves feel better, and it doesn't change the thing that we're changing the word for. And it's more, huh, you've got a point. There's a certain point in Carlin's career where he became less funny and more of a like just a fucking a TED Talk guy, and you were like, Jesus, this fucking guy's dead on. And he would take you on these long journeys. Like he would have these like 10, 15, 20, 25 minute just fucking one topic things where like he defeated what we whoa he defeated the lighting. He defeated everything that you're taught as a comedian. Get there in three, the rule of threes. This guy didn't have a punchline every three fucking sentences. He was on another planet. Brilliant, brilliant mind. Yeah, another another red hat wearing adopted comedian. I it wouldn't take much for me to make that. I think I can do that. But yeah, I I've been so out of touch. You'd be surprised when you don't when you don't buy movies every month or so, and then you're not really concerned with what the fuck's going on. I just know that I need to see Amityville Karen is all I need to know. Um, and I will critique it as a film critic. Listen, I collect baseball cards. Doesn't mean I think I can fucking pitch. That is all I have to say about that. Oh, yeah, Felix, they're repurposing his old bits. It's completely strange. He's a brilliant comedian, but, just let his material speak for itself. Like Richard Pryor, let it speak for itself. People going back and saying Richard Pryor was racist, it's like, no. No, you're not. What the fuck are you doing? You're watching something that was recorded in 1978, and you're giving it the 2022 treatment where it's just not the way it was. Like, what I don't know how to tell you that. Um, a lot of people were in the closet back then. So, there's so many different things. The rainbow was just the thing that you had in a crayon box back then. Like, people don't understand that you can't apply today's social environment to things that you're watching from whatever well, if it's a week ago, maybe, but, if it's like 50 years old, you don't know what it was like back then. There was no hashtag anything. Ah, Bill Hicks, another another surgeon on stage. Let me guess, Harry Potter. No! No, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, he wouldn't make my top 10. Mitch Hedberg, another one. Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright are cut from the same cloth, but Mitch Hedberg, oh, man. Uh, Mitch Hedberg, yeah, Mitch Hedberg's one of those comedians where, like, he's the antithesis of Carlin, where he's just got, uh, line, and, some of them are 5, some of them are 3s, but when he hits you with the 10, you're like, "Oh my god, that's fucking hysterical." And that's what comedy's supposed to be for us lay folk who aren't talented, is you're using math to your best, ability. You're not trying to hit, you know, 10 minutes worth of home runs. You're just trying to hit 2 or 3 and, not strike out so much. Yes, I agree. And it's funny because yeah, there's so much I wanted to do to that. I edited what is on this channel is me editing Emily's work, but man, oh, there's so much that I wanted to do to it. Uh, uh, Edgy humor stopped being funny when I was like 12. Yeah, and that was a hard lesson for me. The first 6 months of my career was like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter if they laugh, just get them oohing and aahing." And then somebody pulled me aside and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm trying to be edgy, man. I'm like, I'm the next, Sam Kinison." He's like, "No, you're not. Sam Kinison had material. You're just saying shit that pisses people off." I was like, "Oh, alright." I used to go out there, and the first thing I would just say was, "Do you know what sucks about having a big dick?" And I just, like, stand there and have a long pause, and then I would go, "What? I'm asking." and like it never worked. And like in my head, I'm like, one of these days they're just gonna fucking get it and roll. And like, oh, I just didn't. I died on that hill so hard. It's like 6 months I opened with that bit. Oh, it's not even a bit. It's just not hello, not how you guys doing, not my name is Charles. You know what sucks about having a big dick? Gervais frustrates the shit out of you in that he's so close to getting the point and still has not. Yeah. When you're referring to getting canceled, yeah. They're treating being canceled as a marketing gimmick than boo-hooing about being canceled after the fact. You can't have it both ways. Make a decision. Right. Mr. Orange, would you like to see him as a reservoir dog? Oh. Wait, which one was Mr. Orange? Was that I don't remember. Yes, it was empty, but I got it. The fuckers at the airport stole all my shit, which I've been slowly replacing. Slowly. And working with the airport in getting a claim filed so that they can write me a check for their fucking malfeasance. I collect baseball cards too, but I can pitch. Not well, but I can pitch. I mean, I can throw a ball, but fucking, I don't know. Yes, I totally agree with your view on Carlin. I loved his later stuff when it was like a TED talk that smacked you across the face with a punchline here and there. Yeah. Yeah. And the fucking guy knew how to handle a standing ovation. He would just repeat himself. And that is something that I never, like, as much as I watched George Carlin, I never learned from him. Like, there's timing, and like you're supposed to expect a 2 to 5 second laugh if your joke's strong, and if it lasts longer than 5 seconds, you wait. But you know, when you do it enough, when you do it, 500 times, you're like, all right, by about the 4th second, you should be ready to just get going. But you do it 500 times, and suddenly 2 or 3 times, it's 7 seconds, and they're still rolling. George Carlin, what he would do is just repeat himself. He would just repeat the punchline until they stopped laughing or clapping. And I'm like, you know that he did that. Why don't you do that? What? People love to take progressive figures and try to retrofit them to be right wingers. The boys made fun of this by having Homelander compare himself to Martin Luther King. I haven't watched The Boys yet. Dave Chappelle's pretty funny. The rainbow used to mean God's promise. Oh boy. Oh, it's very different. Yeah, shit doesn't always age well. People spoke different. That's just the way it was. Looking at the year, say 1972, with a 2022 lens is just illogical. Right, right. It sucks. It's unfair. There's nothing we can do about it. there's literally nothing we can do about it. We can't. But for us to persecute people from that time period is kind of no, no, no. I mean, then you better never watch Monster Squad again. The amount of times they called each other the gay F word, I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember this. Right, right. And that's the point. All right, can I catch up? And rainbows are no, they're not owned by leprechauns. That's it. They're at the bottom of them. I am so far behind. You don't recognize my background? Somebody is my picture skipping? Does it look like I'm reporting to you from a fucking hamster wheel? Because when I was streaming from Scotland, the strength of the internet was that of I don't know, fucking a corded phone. No, I'm in New York. Way to pay attention, though. I've been in New York for like a month now. Yeah. It's weird. You can make Falling Down now, but you can't make Blazing Saddles now, which is so fucking weird. Yeah, there you go. Wait, what did some need to say about racism? What? No. No, it's satire, some need. No. Who considers it to be the most racist film ever made? I What does that mean? What like dude, you can't just throw out terms like racist and then I wonder if Brian loves it like you guys. Who said well, don't be making shit for Stranger Things. Yeah, it's the N-word premise with rappers. Right? It's the N-word premise with urban culture, and dare I say urban culture that is offensive to people. Yeah. Um, what I will say to you is my mouth is far looser when I'm not in front of a camera than it is when I am in front of a camera, and I'm pretty fucking loose. Uh, I I know who I'm around, and people know who I am. I know to respect people who I'm with. If somebody doesn't like certain words, Brian doesn't like cursing. I don't curse in front of Brian, but I'm fucking cursing right now. I respect Brian, and I will say, as I will do as well as possible to avoid cursing around Brian, but that's me meeting him in the middle. Um, uh, uh, People put way too much weight into words. I'm not saying that Brian does. I'm just saying that if you heard Emily and I joke with each other, you would think that we were the most abusive couple uh, that existed. Um, any bruise shows up. Really dark humor comes from the other person, uh, and we know we're kidding, and it's not funny to everybody, but that's our own personal, it. She knows I'm kidding. I know she's kidding. You have to know your audience essentially. And nowadays, if a camera's in front of you, you have to know audiences. Yep, 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 yep. Right, right. That's why I'm confused. I want to know who thinks it's racist. Yeah, I use it to talk about something that isn't gay at all. Uh, and if you want to know what I use that term for, ask Emily. She'll tell you, and she'll laugh because it it's it not right. It's certainly not a. How far behind am I? I've got a list of random people who've called me. It's decently long. Hmm. Right. And Somni, you're always chatty, and I'm asking you where you've heard that, and you've gone silent. And we're caught up. So Somni, you're just trying to stir the pot, and I really I don't like stuff like that. Don't do things like that. Don't say people are saying that it's the most racist movie ever. Um, what are you referencing? Who said that Blazing Saddles is the most racist movie ever? Who said that? Where have you heard that? Because hearsay gets a lot of people in trouble, and shit like that is a bold thing to say. Right, right, and that's just no right. My point essentially. Your professor from Sacramento State said that? That it was one of the most racist movies ever? Are they a person of color? Do they have a sense of humor? Do they know what satire is? Yeah, I'll tell you what, if the person's under the age of 30, maybe, but one thing I can't stand is people judging satire like it's fucking the news, which is scary because there's a very long time there where The Daily Show with Jon Stewart was more reputable than Fox News, which is fucking frightening. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Uh, Blazing Saddles is clearly more racist than Birth of a Nation. The sheriff is near. All right, all right. 2.5 hours. I've gone as long as, oh. Oh, no, yeah, no, yeah, you're right. People would think that, "Yeah, hell yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be." And people would be like, "Oh, this is too racist." And everybody in the middle would be like, "What both of you are fucking stupid. This this is all humor." Um, all right. So I've gone as long as Blonde is, and we had some sexual content, I think. I think. So maybe we'll get the NC-17. No, I'm unless you're joining me, I'm getting ready to leave. I'll stick around if you come in, but I'm done. Getting some neat telling me that Blazing Saddles is the fucking most racist movie ever. I I I don't. Yeah, 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 and I'm sure the actors said, "Oh yeah, no, this works for me. I'll sign on." Yeah, it I can't stand people some people just don't understand satire. That's fine. Just don't talk about it. How about that? Just don't watch it, don't talk about it. It's okay. It's okay. Not everybody has a sense of humor. Don't try to. Yes. Yes. That is also accurate, Dice. All right, so, I don't know. I might do a watch along, uh, for Charles. I mean, Charles squared. Fuck, their marketing writes itself. Oh, yeah, no. No, I did no. A stronger man than I, that's for fucking certain. Um, but yeah, I might do a, live reaction to Charles. I haven't figured it out yet. But again, coming up, uh, myself, Dice Roland, Sweet and Spooky, and Desmond Flicks, we're going to have a roundtable discussion about horror and reactionaries and how quick they are to rebel against horror that isn't geared towards white straight males and automatically use buzzwords. So, yeah, what do I want to do? I can't fucking, um, yeah. But that roundtable discussion, we're just figuring out a date and time, and everybody will be on the same page. And I'm going to rest now.